Good day, Coach Jude and classmates. I'm Michelle Garina, the little teacher of Study of 3. But before we start, let me first introduce my members. The first reporter is yours truly. The second reporter is Camille Sanchez. The third reporter is Melody Alip. And the fourth reporter is Trixie Marine Senda. And the last but not the least, the fifth reporter is Rochelle Joy Gagano Cruz. Today, we will explore an important shift in education, the transition from teacher-centered to learner-centered teaching. We will also discuss a key teacher-centered philosophy called essentialism and how it has shaped traditional in education. So, teacher-centered versus learner-centered teaching. So, in a teacher-centered approach, the teacher is the main authority in the classroom. Students receive knowledge passively following a structured curriculum with a strong focus on a discipline and standard learning. But in a learner-centered approach, students take an active role in their learning. The teacher becomes a facilitator, encouraging exploration, collaboration, and critical thinking. This shift aims to make learning more engaging and meaningful for students, adapting to their individual needs rather than following a size-fits-all method. So, teacher-centered philosophies, essentialism. One of the major philosophies under the teacher-centered approach is essentialism. This philosophy was introduced by William Barley in the 1930s and rooted in realism and idealism. Essentialism focuses on teaching students were subjects such as mathematics, science, history, and language. It believes that education should prepare students for life by giving them fundamental knowledge and skills. So, here are the key characteristics of essentialism, and essentialism has four main characteristics. So, first is teacher as the authority. So, the teacher leads the learning process, ensuring students receive structured instruction. Second is emphasize in core subjects. So this focuses on subjects that provide essential knowledge for daily life and career success. Third is strict discipline and structure. So students are expected to follow rules, work hard, and respect authority. Fourth, the traditional teaching method. So these lectures, memorization, and standardized teaching are commonly used. So essentialism ensures that students gain a strong academic foundation, but it also limits students' creativity and self-expression, which is why many modern educators have shifted towards learner-centered approaches. So, comparing the teacher-centered and learner-centered education, so how does essentialism fit into shift from teacher-centered to learner-centered teaching? Okay, so essentialism is focused on strict instruction, whereas learner-centered teaching encourage independence and adaptability. Today's education system blends with approaches to provide structured learning, while also developing students' creativity and critical thinking. So, in summary, the shift from teacher-centered to learner-centered teaching helped create a more engaging and personalized learning experience. Essentialism remains a strong foundation in education, but is now balanced with modern student-focused approaches to learning. So that's all for today. Thank you.
Good day, my name is Emil Sanchez, between IA Section 1B, and today I will be talking about perennialism. Perennialism is an educational philosophy that emphasizes the teaching of timeless universal truths that are relevant across the culture and the period. Perennialism in education is rooted in the idea that there are certain ideas, concepts, truths that are universally valuable and should be passed down to generation. We have five keys of perennialism. Number one, we have focus on classical work. Perennialism centers around classic literature, philosophy, and art. Texts by authors like Plato, Shakespeare, and Aristotle are commonly studied because they offers insight to humans' nature, ethics, and societal values. Number two, we have the emphasis on intellectual development. So this primary aim to develop students' critical thinking, intellectual skills, and moral reasoning. Number three, we have the teacher-centered in perennialism. In the classroom is typically seen as the authority and guide. Number four, we have the curriculum stability. The curriculum in perennialism framework remains relatively stable over time with the emphasis on adapting the contemporary trends. Number five, we have the focus on moral and ethical development. The in perennialism also places a strong ethical on helping students develop strong moral character. Perennialists offer a more structured traditional approach to education, focusing on deep intellectual engagement with ideas that are about to have universal significance. Perennialism contrasts a more progressive by valuing traditional subjects and knowledge over newer trends in education. It is tend to emphasize the teacher-directed learning and a structured curriculum.
Good day, Coach Jude. Good day, classmates. My name is Melody A. Ali, Program Detailed IA1B. I'm the Study Hub 3, Member 3. So now, I will be tackled about my topic, Learner-centered philosophies and progressivism. This response explores the relationship between learner-centered philosophies and progressivism in education. It will delve into the key principles of each, highlighting their shared emphasis on student needs to active learning. Learner-centered philosophies prioritize the individual student's needs, interests, and learning styles. They shift the focus away from the traditional teacher-centric methods, where knowledge is passively received, to the more student-driven approach. These philosophies emphasize individualized learning, recognizing the students learn differently. Learner-considered approaches encourage teachers to tailor instruction to meet individual needs and preference. Active engagement. Students are encouraged to actively participate in their learning through hands-on activities, problem solving, and collaborate projects. Meaningful learning. Learning-centered approaches aim to connect learning to real-world experience, making it more relevant and engaging for students. Teacher as a facilitator. The teacher's role shifts from being the sole source of knowledge to as facilitator of learning. Progressivism is a prominent educational philosophy that aligns closely with the learner-centered principles. It is emerged in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, challenging traditional right and rote learning methods. Key tenets of progressivism include experimental learning. Progressivism believes that learning should be hand-on-hand engaging, emphasizing real-world experiences and problem-solving. Child-centered approach. Progressivism emphasizes that needs that interests of the individual child. Social responsibility. Progressivism believes that education should prepare students to be responsible citizens who contribute to society. Democratic values. Progressivism values democratic principles in the classroom, encouraging student voice, collaboration, and shared decision making. Progressivism is a significant influence on any learner-centered philosophies. Both emphasize the importance of student agency. Students are viewed as active participants in their learning, not passive recipients of information. Value of experience. Learning is seen as a process of exploration and discovery, not simply memorization. The role of the teachers as a guide. Teachers are seen as facilitators and mentors, supporting students in their learning journeys. For conclusion, a focus on individual growth and social responsibility. Learner-centered philosophies and progressivism share a common vision of education that prioritizes in the individual student's needs, interests, and growth. They emphasize active learning, real-world connections, and the development of critical thinking skills. By embracing these philosophies, educators can create learning environments and empower students to become lifelong learners and responsible citizens. So that's all. Thank you.
Good day, Coach Jude. My name is Trixie Mayrin Vicenda, and my assigned topic, which is humanism. Humanism is a student-centered philosophy that focuses on enhancing one's innate goodness, rejects the ideas of group-oriented education, and upholds the idea of enhancing individual development. This philosophy also believes that students should be actively involved with their education on all levels, and students should be able to make choices about what they will be learning. The purpose of humanism is to create interest in all spheres of all life, believes in the necessity of studying a person as a whole participantly as they grow and develop over the lifespan.
Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. Today I will be talking about constructivism, a theory about how people learn. Have you ever learned something better by doing it yourself rather than just listening to someone explain it. That's what constructivism is all about. Constructivism is a learning theory that says people learn by doing their own understanding and knowledge through experience and reflection. Instead of just memorizing facts, learners actively engage, explore, and connect new ideas to what they already know. In simple terms, this means that learning happens best when we do things ourselves. For example, instead just reading about how to ride a bike, you learn better by actually trying to ride it, making mistakes, and improving over time. Constructivism encourage learning through hands-on activities, problem solving, and discussion rather than just learning to lecture.